And a Bolus, a Citadel. Well, we have to cast this because we've got the reservoir out. Well, this could be game at this point. Wowzers. Well, we don't want that. Oh my goodness. This is exactly why I put the cards in the deck. Just look at the disgusting nature of what I'm doing here. So now, every time we play spells, we're actually gaining life.
To set things right.
Wow. Absolutely insane. Thank you for not quitting AUT22. I could even just go for the River's Rebuke and actually gain life, rather than lose 6. Oh my goodness. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new episode. Today we will be looking at a Grixis build for Evelyn the Covetous. And this is quite an exciting commander because she has flash, and that's really important when you're building sort of a control shell with something like this, because you want to be able to kind of time when you cast it, and also casting it in your opponent's turn is going to be really important because it kind of makes them a bit more paranoid about their actions. So Evelyn says flash whenever she comes in or another vampire enters on your control, exile the top card of each player's library with a collection counter, and once during each turn, clearing your opponents, you may play a card from exile with a collection counter on it if it was exiled by an ability you controlled, and you may spend mana as though a mana of any colour to cast it. So you've guessed it, it's a little bit like Bolus the Citadel, but you get a one-off cast per turn. But the cool thing is you'll be able to use your opponent's spells as well. So in a deck like this, you want to go a little bit tribal. So let's take a look at some of the vampires we have in the deck. So I've chosen only the finest vampires for this kind of deck. So I've got Lord Xander from the latest set, who does so many things. Comes in, your opponent discards half their cards. When he attacks, they mill half, and when he dies, the opponent sacrifices half the non-opponents they control. So I actually have a deck featuring Lord Xander, so take a look at that in my channel a few videos ago. You got Corvold, who's really cool from the latest set as well. She's got haste. You can pay 1 and tap 2 and 3. You spend mana to cast instants or sorceries. That's quite, that's quite a bit of ramp there. It's basically plus 2 mana. And also when she dies, you can return an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Another new card is Corpse Appraiser, who's not just an uncommon, but he's got some good value. When it comes in, exile a creature card from a graveyard. If it's put into exile this way, look at the top 3 of your library, then put one of the cards into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. So this is an ETB, so you can make it more of an ETB style deck. I don't have too many, but I've got a couple of ways in Essence Flux, which flickers a creature, and also Teferi's Time Twist, but you could easily make this more of a bouncy deck with stuff like Thassa. So going back to the body of the deck, it's essentially more of a controller shell than usual, with a lot of cool vampires, and Soren's quite a nice exception as well, because he isn't a vampire, but he makes vampires. Although weirdly enough, he's obviously a vampire in the lore, but he just isn't on the card, so that's kind of strange. So yeah, the deck list will be in the description below. Don't forget to leave me a like and a sub if you like where I've gone with this deck. And don't forget to look at my donations page if you feel so kind. You can donate any amount and it really helps, because until I get 1,000 subs, I basically can't make anything from YouTube. So Ko-fi is the place to go if you're feeling generous. So let's get into some games. Okay, so in my experience, facing a Torgre deck, there's only 2 outcomes of this. They either enjoy making me discard my hand and they last the whole time until they win, or they quit very early because they realise that discarded tribal isn't actually that good unless you have Torgre out. I guess most people use the lantern side, don't they? They don't actually bother going for the creature. I think this is probably one of the most toxic generals though, just because of the nature of in one-on-one it's very difficult to come back if you don't have a hand. In Commander it's kind of like, whatever. Although saying that, I did recently lose to this in Commander, where somebody had a Torgre out and my friend wheeled twice, and opponent probably going to concede here. Oh, they might have a really good hand. But yeah, he wheeled twice and he got so many pathways. I think might have even got my Ulamog or something crazy like that. So they've got 2 lands. Let's go for the Florian. And then we can set up the next turn with Evelyn. Ooh, Cormila. Do you know what? I just love this card. Firstly, the artwork is just beautiful. But, yeah, this artwork is stunning, isn't it? And the ability is really good as well. For an uncommon legend, it's very powerful. Beat the Swarm. They missed the land drop. So if we lose Cormila, we can get back the Stone Rain, right? Or we'll just go for the Cosmos Elixir. And then just get our hand filled. So next turn we'll draw a card. Props to the opponent for staying, but to be honest, against the Torgre player, I'm not really bothered about being that nice. So they want to discard my hand, then I can discard their land, I suppose. That's the logic, right? That is the logic. So I think we just pass the turn. And we'll flash an Evelyn EOT. Oof, lovely. Although they probably won't have many creature spells unless they have that random cat. Or Tiny Bones, I suppose. So do they just go for the Lantern here? I mean, I do have the Bedevil. Bedevil sorts that out. Liliana, okay.
The best thing about
Optic
zombies
discard.
is their adoring obedience.
Each player discards a card, that's fine with me. I'll get rid of the Grasp because the Feed the Swarm can also deal with enchantments.
You think too much.
Inscription of Ruin is kind of cool. We can make them discard cards. So let's do that. Oh, the irony. Oh, the irony. And we can even protect our Evelyn in their turn because we have the Essence Flux, which is an instant, of course. In a strange roundabout way, it's not too bad that they have the Liliana out because they also have to discard from their own hand. I could obviously just exile it here with a Baleful Mastery because the synergy she gets with the Liliana plus the Torgre is kind of sad. Whoa, they got rid of the Fraying Omnipotence and a Soul Shatter, so...
Oh, your bravery is
6 cards on the graveyard, so they could just legit minus here. To be honest, not that bothered, because if they do, I can just Essence Flux the Evelyn. Elspeth's Nightmare. Ooh, that's a great hit for them, isn't it? Okay, so I suppose we're going to have to Flux it here. And then if they do Liliana minus, then they lose Liliana, so it's all good. There's the Reservoir. I mean, that's part of a combo. Not combo as such, but just really good synergy. That was really bad timing, actually. Yeah, I messed that up. I thought that this came in at the end of turn. Oh, well. Yeah, that was a really bad play on my part there. So there's 2 types of Flick here. There's Flicker like Teferi's Time Twist, which brings it back at the end of the end step. And then there's also the Flux, which returns it immediately. So yeah, that is completely my fault. So now they're going to be able to discard a card from our hand. And they can choose all sorts of stuff. Black. Let's go for the Grave. Yeah, I think I'm going to Bedevil here and also Feed the Swarm.
I'm a survivor.
Because they'd be discarding a card on their hand anyway, so... Although we don't have the black, do we? Yeah, land's fine. Oh yeah, that was a huge misplay, wasn't it? Huge misplay. If I win this, I'll be surprised. All it takes is one mistake. Read the cards, guys. And probably don't play when you're really tired. That is not good. Baleful Mastery goes away. Torgre. So they can see I have the Feed the Swarm, but they still went for Torgre anyway. That is a bit weird. Wouldn't you think? Is that weird? I think that's weird. So they know the cards on their hand. You know what? I'm actually not going to attack. Let's see what they do, because... So Cormila can actually pay for herself to be protected at the time twist. So if they do choose to kill Cormila, we can just flicker her. Dread Presence. Interesting. So they're going to start drawing as well. Okay. So yeah, happy to just pass the turn. Weird old game this is. Don't want a Dark Ritual. We do want our life total to be high though, so keeping the Dread Presence at bay with our 4 toughness is going to be useful. 4, 5, 6, 7, so we can go for Evelyn and protect her with Teferi's Time Twist because of Cormila. Torgre's Lantern. So before we resolve that trigger, let's go for the Evelyn and see what we get. That might help us. Okay. Right, so I'll lose the 3. I mean, we won't draw with the Cosmos Elixir, so it's a bit of a catch-22 here, but we did just get 4 other really good cards here. Yeah, let's go for the Reservoir. This will gain us some life. And the Thief as well. Lots of life gain. Very good against Torgre's Lantern. Because we can just pay 3, right? Even if it's 6 a turn, we gain 2 to 3 life per turn. So we kind of halve the damage of the Lantern. I'm actually not as scared of this side. I mean, if they have loads of mana, then it is scary. But I think the other side is scarier. But they kind of wasted a cast early, didn't they? They played her out knowing we had the removal. Target opponent discards 2 cards. Well, we might as well flicker the Evelyn then. Because this gives us, technically, 2 more cards to look at, doesn't it? So we do not want to move it to the command zone. Don't forget that. She'll come in. She'll come in at the end step here. So they did just spend 4 mana for 0 basically, but they will get a 4/5 next turn. And yeah, we'll decline. So we get a 25. They can swing in. We get a 22. Okay, we don't have. We're not going to really have any cards. Right, so now we get to untap with Thief of Sanity, which is just awesome, to be honest. And another re-trigger for the Evelyn. And a Bolus of Citadel. Well, we have to cast this because we've got the Reservoir out. Well, this could be game at this point. Wowzers. Well, we don't want that. Oh my goodness. This is exactly why I put the cards in the deck. Just look at the disgusting nature of what I'm doing here. So now, every time we play spells, we're actually gaining life.
To set things right.
Wow. Absolutely insane. Thank you for not quitting AUT22. I could even just go for the River's Rebuke and actually gain life. Rather than lose 6. Oh my goodness. Wow. My opponent just lets us do it. Oh, thank you.
Let's go digging.
This is I think this is the dream, isn't it?
My way.
This is the dream.
For the
Well,
Welcome to my
certainly been a fun game for me.
Planeswalker.
Torgre goes away, and Surveil. A very well-oiled machine, if I may say so myself. I mean, it is an Evelyn deck, so let's swing in. Honestly, the longer I'm playing this, the more sportsmanship points they get, so thank you. And then we just use the Etherflux. Kaboom. Good sportsman, very good, very rare. If you see that guy, just don't quit. He's a good sport, really good sport. Thank you. We go first against Yarok, and starting hand is not too bad. Dark Ritual is going to make this hand, basically. But we don't want to do it too early. I think getting it in the same turn as the Ashiok could be pretty useful. And I want to get out the Fabled Passage as soon as possible, just because we can't ensure we're going to get the fourth land. So we could go for Etherflux Reservoir, but I reckon that's probably still too early. I think if we can go for the Dark Ritual into the Ashiok the next turn, might be game over. We'll see. Might be tough for them to get back from that. So let's see if they concede. So yeah, we'll tick up and see if they have any removal. Chances are high. I mean, they've got access to 3 very powerful colours. I mean, let's be honest, any colours combined 3 ways is going to be strong, isn't it? There's no such thing as a weak 3-colour deck. Triad, so they can play additional lands, and all the lands tap for any colour now. So land on top is really good, actually. And now we can start attacking and see what we exile. Okay. Yep, so it turns out early Ashiok is pretty good. Although I don't know why they quit during the attack step. It's kind of unusual. Looks like we're up against Leonidas himself. So this could be an imposing battle, considering he took on countless Persians with no issue. So he probably won't have an issue with me. Our starting hand is so close to being great. If we get mana, so I'm just going to keep this. Oh no, accidentally pressed mulligan. Okay, this is actually better anyway. Yeah. Yeah, I've not been yeah, my brain's not right today. I've had a long day, so apologies for that. Maybe the first hand would have been worse. We'll see. Incubation Druid. If we can get this Thief of Sanity going, could be good. Good news is we have the removal for the Corvold in the Price of Fame, so this might be a grindy match. So we've got some nice bit of sequencing going on here. So go for Thief. In their turn, it is likely they go for Corvold, sacking the Solemn. This seems likely. I mean, they could even attack first, but then they risk us blocking, which they know we won't do. We have Croxer. I guess we'll get rid of Angie. Or Anya, sorry. Interesting timing with the Croxer. Because if they had gone for Corvold, then next turn they would have been able to draw a card off the Croxer. But I suppose they want us to attack and pile the Croxer in the graveyard, I suppose. Let's see what we get. Oh, this is interesting. So Mayhem Devil is actually really good versus their deck, oddly enough. And that's because whenever they sacrifice, we can deal 1 to stuff. Well, this is going to be an interesting game, isn't it? So we get rid of the Bastion. That's a great hit, actually. So they still can't go for the Croxer. So it looks like it's going to be Corvold. Yeah, as I thought. They sack the Rejuvenator, and then we'll deal 1 damage to them. Because if they hadn't sacked that, we would have been able to ping that anyway. Okay, so obviously we're going to Price of Fame on the Corvold here. Hopefully we get some lands on top. I'm happy to leave both on top, which is unusual. And then swinging with both, that seems fine. But before blocks, yeah, we'll go for the Incubation Druid here. I might regret that if I get a good 2-drop with a FIFA Sanity, but anything to take them off their strange block, because now they can't sack a non-land to the Corvold as well. Unless they have a board wipe in hand, and in which case... fair enough. So a board wipe would be kind of sad. Because now if they go for the... yeah, board wipe it is. Damn, I'm good. People just do stuff that's suspicious, so... I guess now what we can do is pass a turn, because we know they're going to go for Corvold, and we can just flash in the Evelyn. And then in our turn we can go for the Citadel or the Onyx. Okay. So as per usual, we're going to want to get rid of the Corvold ASAP. So what do they sack here? They're going to go for the Treasure. Okay, fair enough. So scarily, they are getting very close to the Croxer coming out. They can, you know, do it next turn if they want to. So Evelyn gets at least a land from our side. What do they get from theirs? That's a trophy. That actually gives us 2 lands. Very interesting. Okay. Although yeah, because the they did it before the trigger went on the stack, so the cards will remain exiled. But okay, yeah, but if I do recast Evelyn, then I can still play them again, so it's not too bad. So yeah, for now we'll go for Professor Onyx. Make them lose the Corvold again, so they can just go for the Croxer here. Ah yeah, and we gave them another card. That is unfortunate, but there you go. If we ever manage to get shielded out... oh wow, they just... why did they just give up there? That's a shame. Oh well, moving on to the next game. Strange. We go first against Judith, so they're going to be a Rakdos creature go-wide strategy, looking to sacrifice some things along the way and ping us for 1. It's normally very good against opposing aggro decks, but luckily we aren't one of those. Let's see what we're working with. Hopefully get rid of an early attacker. So what do we do here? Not bother about the Changeling Outcast. I suppose we'll get rid of the Deadly Dispute, because it's the unique card out of those choices, and it gives them some cards. And for now we can afford to take a few hits, so... so next turn they can go for the Judith. Volt Scourge as well, yikes, okay. So if we get a board wipe we can basically win the game, right? We could go for a blocker. Yeah, I think Cormelia's a really good blocker actually. The 4 toughness is going to be very difficult for the opponent to get past, even with their uniform buff. Volt Scourge will swing in for 2, gaining 2 though. Oh, I see what they've done here. It's an unblockable deck. Okay. Respect. So we'll get a swamp. Right, so yeah, we're not going to be able to block anything, but we will be able to, I suppose, bedevil the Judith. And they've only got 3 mana, so they can't cast just yet. So we should only be taking 3 here. But yeah, it's, you know, feels like a smack across the face just realising that I can't block any of them. Like the stage. Oof, classic red spell. Village Rites, they could draw some extra cards, but they will lose one of the attackers. Is it worth it? Potentially. They don't have to do it yet, but they do potentially also have 5 mana on the next turn. Yep, I'm going to pass. We want to get this Citadel out, and we can only do that with extra mana. And we can flash in the Evelyn to block. The Heartfire Immolator will not be able to activate in the same turn they go for Judith either. Fireblade Charger. Okay. See what they attack with. Probably the... Okay, I mean, they have Menace, but we can double block that. Come on, land. No lands, but at least we get rid of their Dread Wanderer. That would have been annoying. So we take 2. And there is now a moth in my room. Village Rites. Draw 2. Sure thing. If they get this to 4 toughness, they can just kill our Cormila. But we will get back a spell if they do that. So we are definitely after a board wipe here. Thief of Sanity actually... Maybe that's better than the Citadel? Yeah, because we can block the Scourge. I'm happy to block that, even if it does mean we... lose it. Yeah, we'll get a Pest. Just as many blockers as possible. And then pass the turn. Oh, Coligan's Command. That's insanely good as well. So they're going to have to need some... They're going to need something good to get past our defences. Judith is good. It's going to be able to ping all of our guys when their stuff dies, which is kind of annoying. So they kind of read like they've got one more power than usual, right? So block here. Block here. Block here, I suppose. And then it should leave the rest of our guys safe. We'll take at least 2, depending on where they redirect the damage. Looks like they're considering... Interesting. Okay. So I mean, it could have been worse than that, I guess. Yeah, I'm not too bothered about that, really. Oh, so sure, okay. Okay, so what do we need? Henrika. Let's kill the Changeling. That's 2 damage. Yeah, not gonna lie, this Judith is kind of annoying. And let's transform her. She's a 3/4 lifelink, so that'll be interesting to see if she can get around that. I mean, they probably have lots of removal. They are Raptors after all. Okay. Wow, that's actually really good. When it dies, create that many squirrels equal to its power. Wowzers. This is scary. 4/2. Okay. So, what do we want to get back? I guess we'll just go for the Citadel. We don't have to do anything off the top. Or Liliana, definitely don't want to do that. So we'll pass the turn. Yeah, Lily would take us down to 2. Let's just hope they just have terrible things in their hand. So they can sack another creature to transform this. So yeah, the key here is to only block 1, because if we block both, then they'll deal 2 damage to Henrika when these both die. Although saying that, they can just sacrifice, yeah. Yeah, I only just saw that actually. Yeah, but I had to do that, didn't I? Because I would have died. So, they've got a lot of stuff. Oof, we're going to need an absolute miracle here. Right, so... Well, we definitely want to go for the Onyx. So our only hope is something good on top, isn't it?
New job, new life, new...
Okay, come on now, let's get a spell off the top. So that is a spell, and that will take us down to 2, but we'll gain 2 with the Onyx. So we basically want to keep finding spells. So bounce and minus. So we'll bounce the token and then minus the Judith. So they're going at us. And now we have to try and find a spell on the top. So, as if that actually gained us a life. This is actually insane. We're actually somehow not dead yet. But yeah, I think that probably... So we can cast Strike It Rich, which takes us to 6 life, but we can't block the Skyclave Shade. Oh well. Yeah, it was, to be honest, that was a pretty good chain. So if we do that, we'll go to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we'll pass a turn and just feign a spell. Yeah, you know what? I still enjoyed that. That was fun. It was a fun little thing. Professor Onyx and the Citadel. Always, you know, pretty cool synergy there. So all they need to do now is attack. With the buff, I guess. So yeah, even if we block the greatest, we still take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 damage. Good game. That was pretty fun. If you enjoyed watching this video, why not try some of my other videos on my channel? And don't forget to support me by hitting the like and subscribe button for more content like this.